Welcome to Art with Text. We are going to do this awesome project. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know, introduce it today, and I'm going to go through what you're going to do each day so that you know how to do this and you can kind of work at your own pace. All right, so today your problem is to create a piece of art illustrating emotion with a focus on creating value with text only. So here's an example right here. So you see you have a person with only words. So what I mean by only words to create value is this is a dark value with words only. Lots of words close together. When it's a lighter value, you have less words that are farther apart. And they didn't outline the glasses or outline the face. It is only comprised of words. So that's what we're going to do for this project. It can look really, really awesome. So the media is going to be pen and ink. You're going to sketch it out with pencil first, and you can do anything in pencil first that you want to, since it can be erased. And then we're going to do pen on top of that. You can use Sharpie. I would suggest a regular pen. That works really well. Just try to make sure you use the same color throughout. 9 by 12 would be my suggestion for size, and make sure you edit your photograph to be high contrast, which means big areas of really dark and really light instead of lots of normal transitions. It'll make it easier. So another thing that could be really helpful would be to save the picture on your computer and then just edit it and change it to a black and white photo. It'll make it a lot easier for you for this project. The artist we're going to talk about is named, his nickname is BK. His website's here and your teacher can show you that, and I also have some of his examples below. He does not do art with text, but he does a lot of really cool emotional pieces that have really deep meanings. So I wanted to focus on him for this project because he's really, really cool. Here's your rubric. We're going to look for a range of values present, meaning that you have areas that are dark, that are lighter, 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 all the way to white on 1 to 8 on the value scale. And we'll talk about that later as we do a value scale together. We're also looking for the degree of smooth value transitions. So this is when we transition on the value scale that it's smooth and gradual and not abrupt. The third one would be the degree to which an emotion is recognizable in the piece. So we want to make sure when we do something that you pick a picture that has a strong emotion so that it's easy to tell what emotion, whether it's terrified or angry or like really sad or exuberant, very happy, something extreme, and that will help with your emotion in your piece. The last one would be rendering of the figure proportionally. So whatever you decide to do, which we're going to do something that's realistic for this project, that it looks like it should. So for example, if you're going to do a picture of yourself, it should look like you. Your eye should be in the right place, your nose should be in the right place, etc. And that will be out of 100. All right, for class 1, which is today, you are going to work on brainstorming ideas and doing your 2 sketches. So you're going to think about what realistic thing are you going to draw for this project. Anything will work. It can be an object, an animal, a person, pretty much anything, but do something realistic, not a cartoon. Cartoons with this, it doesn't really work very well, okay? Remember to pick something that has high contrast, so really dark areas and really light areas will really make it easier to do that. Remember to actually save the photo that you find online to your computer. Don't just bookmark it because it changes. So make sure you actually save the picture. You do that right click or on your laptop, take 2 fingers and click, and you'll get the save as option, and just make sure you remember where you save it. You're also going to create a list of 20 words that you would like to use for this project for the emotion. So for example, if I pick someone who is extremely angry, maybe I pick words, my 20 words for this project might be things like mad, angry, upset, and maybe some things about like why they could be mad too would be something interesting, and that can be something personal or just some words that you think of that would really, really help. Okay, and you're going to do your 2 sketches. So here's just a little sheet. You can take your sketchbook or notebook paper, whatever you have to organize for art, and just divide it into 4 sections. You don't have to use a ruler. It's just sketches. So one section, you're going to brainstorm ideas. Make sure you circle the one that you choose. So this is where you're going to be looking for emotions. So you might say happy, sad, angry, terrified, whatever you want to do. And then as you're looking around, pick the one that you want and circle it. write down here the 20 words you'll use, and these are the words that you're going to write over and over again for your project. You want to make sure that the words help illustrate the emotion. So again, if you pick something over here that's angry, these should be angry words. If you pick something over here that is sad, these should be sad words, okay? And then you're going to do 2 sketches. Remember, it's the same idea, one idea, 2 sketches, just altering the composition. So maybe in one sketch you really zoom in, maybe in the other one you really zoom out. Maybe this one, someone's looking straight at you. Maybe this one, it's in the profile where they're kind of turned to the side. Whatever you do is fine, but it's one idea and just 2 quick sketches. And this is what you're going to get done for class 1. All right, for class 2, you're going to practice with the media. So you're going to create an 8-part value scale, and you're going to do a sphere, okay? So first, you're just going to create this in your sketchbook. Teachers, you can pause this if you need to allow your students to create this. So you're going to create an 8-part value scale here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So essentially, draw a big long rectangle, divide it into 8 sections, draw a circle, or shadow, and this is where we're going to do a sphere. You can also list some practice words to help you, so as you're writing you can just be looking at the list and just kind of fill those in. Okay? All right. Once you get that done in pencil, then you can take a pen. And if you don't have pens yet gathered, that's okay. You can use a pencil. It's not a big deal. But notice I didn't outline with the pen, so keep that in mind as we go. All right. So the value scale shows the areas of light and dark. So we want to create a value scale that starts from white and goes all the way to almost black, okay? And those are the values in between. Notice there's a gradual change, and that's something that we talked about in the rubric. So you're going to start at number 8. In this one, you want lots of words that are small, close together, and overlap if you need to. So you can see here, I overlapped a lot of the words. I just went through these words, overlapped them to make a dark value. Then I did the same thing here with less overlap. And then I just wrote the words here with no overlap, less words. And then you see how the words get bigger as they get to this very light value in box 2. Remember, box 1 is going to stay white because it's a highlight. Any areas that you have white in your piece will have no words. The lighter values, you want to make sure you have bigger words and that they're farther apart. Okay, so that's how you do your value scale. To do your sphere, and you can start with a shadow if you want. That would essentially just be a number 8 everywhere here. With this one, I added the words around the sphere to create the illusion of that 3D look of a sphere. So again, don't outline it with your pen. You're just because you eventually erase all these pencil lines when you get done. So what I would do is just write those. So I wrote small words close together and overlap down here. The words got bigger and bigger. And you want to pick some words that are important for those big areas. For example, I wrote like school, art, text, because that's what we're doing for this project. So some of them will be readable, some of them won't, and that's perfectly fine. It's the look of it that is created through the text. Don't be, I know you're going to want to, but don't just like fill it in with your pen. It'll look really different and it'll be the only part that stands out in your piece. So don't do that. And make sure you, like I said, pick the important words to highlight. So you can take some time to do that, teachers. You can leave this up so students can see this. And here's some tips before you start your actual project. You want to start in the darker areas. That makes it much easier to see kind of where you're going and what you're doing. Use pencil first. Do not outline with pen. Like I said, it'll make it look flat, and we want to make it look realistic. You can always use pencils first. Like if you wanted to write this word but you weren't sure how it was going to look, write it with pencil. You can always erase it. You can't erase pen. Small words close together are your dark values, right? Big words farther apart are your light values. The number 1 should remain white for highlights. Any pen will work. You do not have to use any specific type of pen. And use the same font. So I wrote some examples here, like lowercase, cursive, all uppercase. Whatever you decide to do, it's fine, but just stick with that one type of font for your piece. It can be your own handwriting, which is perfectly fine. You don't have to create something, but just make sure you're doing it the same so that it looks the same. Otherwise, it'll kind of look disconnected. All right, in class 3, you're going to sketch out your final piece. You're going to look at the sketch that you did best out of the 2 from day 1. And you're going to lightly sketch that on your big paper until you're 100% satisfied. Only use your pencil to map. Do not use a pen, okay, because you can't erase it. Remember, draw light until you get it right. I know that sounds super corny, but you can always erase. As long as you can see it, it's dark enough, okay? So that's what you're going to do for class 3. For class 4, you're going to add your words. So for this one, you want to make sure that you are adding your words in pencil first, if you're not sure, and then in pen. Class 5, you're going to do your self-evaluation. Remember, it's not due this day, but this is an opportunity for you to see where you are and what you need to do to improve the quality of your piece. You've done this twice already, so I'm going to let you guys do this on your own. All right, class 6 and beyond. Review the rubric at the start of class, until you finish your project. Continue working on it until it's complete. Once you finish, make sure you sign it in the bottom right-hand corner with the year. Turn it in however your teacher decides. I have a little challenge here for you if you finish early, so you can read that on your own. Here are some really good quality examples for you to look at. So your teacher can look at these with you and talk about, I wrote down some notes of things that looked good in the pieces, things that the artist did really well. And here's an example that I did with my students. One year we had a student who was in a hospital in Chapel Hill. So we made this with prayers. So we actually wrote out prayers, even on all the small little beads and the little lines and everything, and we sent it to him. So it was symbolic of us praying for him, which was really cool. He really liked that. Here's an example of placing your words, some of the bigger words, to help with the meaning. Again, you're doing an emotion. So like doing these, that's not an emotion. These are just examples of how you can place words to contour and kind of curve with the image, which look really nice. This is all about BK down here, so you guys can look at this with your teacher. Think about in these pieces, they have some social issues that are illustrated. There's a deeper meaning. So I'd love for you guys to try to look at these together as a class and see what meaning you think the artist was going for in the piece. All right, so again, I'm going to let you guys kind of go through at your own pace for this project, since I've already done 2 projects where I went through kind of class by class with different videos. But I'm super excited to see how these turn out. They usually look amazing, so I'm really excited to see what you do. And if you have questions, make sure you talk to your teacher and go ahead and get started. Have a great time.